Say when. All right. Well, Charlie and Doug, I have not met either one of you before, but I must tell you that I'm very impressed with your performances in Red Dawn.
Thank you. Great.
That is a dynamite movie, and I hope it does well. You know, I guess, Charlie, how do you feel? Do you think it's a movie that is a very special movie for very special audiences, or how do you feel about it?
Well, I think it'll appeal to a wide realm of audiences where you've got the story told through the young people that our younger generation will be able to relate to. And you've got the propaganda aspects, the political involvement, the controversy that I think a lot of the adults will relate to also. And they might, you know, they could pick it apart on those aspects, yet I think as a whole it's an adventure epic and very exciting, and I think people will enjoy it overall.
Charlie, your father, of course, is Martin Sheen.
Right.
Your brother is Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
Now, you elected to go with the Sheen name.
Yeah, well, see, I had kind of put that on paper and looked at Charlie Estevez, and there was like the American name, the Hispanic name. There was an imbalance, and when I used Sheen, there was more of a balance. It may sound like a used car salesman, but I think that name has a certain ring, and I chose to use it. I figured it's better now to be Martin Sheen's son than Emilio Estevez's brother, you know, but now I'm reaping the comparison of both, so I guess I lose either way. But,
And what do your brother and your father think about it?
Not much, actually. They didn't have a whole lot to say. I did it legally, you know.
You're going to be like a Barrymore family here. There are 3 of you. Are there more Sheens to come along?
Yeah, well, I don't know to come along, but there are more in my family. My brother Ramon, sister Renee, mom Janet. So I don't know who's going to make the jump, you know.
I want to ask you one thing about the training that all of you went through before you got into this film. It has been compared to Milius's basic training for you actors.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It was a 1-week course that was designed to familiarize us with Russian weaponry, ballistics, tactical warfare, maneuvering, camouflage, anything that would involve knowledge of that warfare that we take part in. And it was a very concise, well-designed course that it was somewhat rigorous, but we learned a lot.
At any time did you ever think, I don't know if I want to go on with this?
No, I was gung-ho all the way. I was ready to repel Russian troops from day one.
Okay, Doug, let's get you into the conversation. What was your reaction to the basic training?
I loved it. I mean, for a while there, it was real interesting, for one thing, learning all about the weapons and stuff, but it was the ultimate fantasy for playing war. For as your kid, you know, you always play war as a kid. And this was realistic. These guys that train us are like ex-Green Berets. They've been in combat for years, mercenary-type people. And so we learned how they really would survive in the woods as far as working as a team in a unit and carrying weapons with you and sneaking around with camouflage on. So it was the ultimate war games. And but it was exciting, real exciting. All of us loved it. It was probably one of the best parts of the making of the film, was our training and our getting together as a group, because it brought us together as a unit to work together.
Then was making the film more difficult than the basic training?
It was all one big difficult task, because the film, it was so cold, you know, up to 40, 50 below with wind chill factors, 10,000 feet elevation. The air was thin. It was difficult to run, and a lot of scenes we had to run, and so the whole thing is just physically trying. We were all pretty much worn out by the end of the film. I don't think there was any one of us that didn't get sick 1 or 2 times during the filming because of the weather conditions and being out in the cold so long.
Did anyone get injured?
Nothing major, just a few minor injuries, but nothing major at all. Nothing stopped us or hindered us from moving on. We just went through it, and we went along good at a good pace, and it's definitely a worthwhile, fun film to make.
This is your first feature film, right?
Yeah.
Okay. For you, what, as an actor, what was the enlightenment, you know, and saying, wow, this is what movies is all about?
Well, I just learned so much more about the potential you have in films. We're doing a lot more intense subject matter. The quality is a lot better. The crews, it's a quicker, more professional production, and it's definitely really intriguing. And films, I think, is my favorite thing I've ever worked on, and I want to keep going in that.
Would you, though, be happy, or would you consider going back and doing other things like television where you have to grind it out?
Yeah, definitely. I've not excluded television by any means at all. There's definitely a lot of good opportunities in television. There's good shows and stuff. It does cater to a different audience, but I think if you look for the good parts, they are out there in all forms of the media.
Charlie, if I could just get back to you for one final question. What do you have now coming up for you in the future?
You'll see a CBS TV movie of the week that should air early October called Silence of the Heart. It's about teenage suicide. It looks real good.
That is a really hot subject. Yeah. Does Plano, Texas come into your story at all?
No, it doesn't. It's centered in Los Angeles.
Plano, Texas, which is near Dallas, a suburb of Dallas, has had an enormously high and tragic incidence of teenage suicide.
Yeah.
And it's a very affluent community.
Definitely.
Is yours also in your story affluent?
Well, it doesn't necessarily take into the large amount of suicide. It centers on one, the effects that one suicide would have on the family members, friends, members of the community, etc. And it takes that story through the parents and the best friends and just shows the intense horrors of something of that magnitude that is occurring as we speak.
Well, we'll be looking for that.
Great.
And of course, we'll remind everybody to look for Red Dawn, which
Great.
will be opening August the 10th. Congratulations to both of you for
Thank
really
you.
fine
Thank
performances.
Thank you very much. Right.
And Doug, you'll look at Charlie.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie.
Absolutely not.
Okay, two-shot with Bobbie and Charlie.
And I should be like I'm talking and la-di-da-di-da-di-da-da. Oh, okay. Fine.
Okay, two-shot with the guys.
And I should be cheating talking. We want to have a little B-roll over part of a question. Oh, okay.
Okay, pause.
Okay, if you'll cut me from about the waist up.
Are you going to ask questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Then we'll
Tape rolls. Stand by for speed. And speed any time.
Charlie, why did you elect to use the name Sheen? You're getting to be almost like the Barrymores. Are there some more Sheens to come along? We're told that you had kind of a basic training before the film ever started. Tell me about that.
Okay, pause for just a second.
All right. Better get on to Doug's questions then. Okay. Doug, this is your first movie. What kind of an experience was it for you as an actor? Is there any one day of shooting that you're going to remember? Okay. Now let me just give some reactions.